Part 39. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 381. At this moment, Xianzhou is in the room of the Daijun family. Grandpa, who is this man in white? He looks like me. No, he is younger than me. Dijun asked extremely curiously. And Daijun Lingfeng also looked at Daijun Taishu curiously. Grandson, don't ask what you shouldn't ask, it won't do you any good. Dijun Taishu frowned and looked at the two of them. Okay, Grandpa, since this doesn't work, then you can always tell me the secret of going to the great emperor's cemetery this time. Dijun said helplessly. Hey, you grandson, why are you so curious? I've told you everything, but I can't say it, and you can't know it either. Dijun Taishu said with a glare as he puffed his beard. No, we can't say this, and we can't say that, so why should I come? Dijun said helplessly. When you arrive at the great emperor's cemetery, you will know everything. However, I warn you first, something may happen that is impossible to resist. Force majeure, what does this mean? Don't ask, you just don't know if you ask. At the same time, the same doubts were playing out in every room of the imperial clan. The leaders of the 5 imperial clans, like Emperor Jun Taishu, kept silent about this matter. At this moment, in the most luxurious room inside Xianzhou, Li Bai, Ancestor, Xiaoxi and others gathered together. This ferry boat is pretty good. Yes, I have never seen such a ferry boat in the lower world. Nalanyan said slowly. By the way, Yan'er, are you really the guardian of heaven, and you also possess the wisdom and fighting bones? Xiaoxi asked slowly. I have to say that she resonates most with Nalanyan, maybe because they are both things to protect. Okay. The figure at that time has clearly told me that as for the immortal bones, I only have the wisdom immortal bones, and the other one was given to me by the young master. Nalanyan said softly. Oh, he has such good intentions. This is one of the immortal bones. If you collect them all, there may be some secrets. Xiaoxi said disdainfully. I said, are you too presumptuous? I'm just asleep, not dead. Li Bai, who had his eyes closed, said slowly. Fortunately, he was in a good mood now. After all, he had just contacted the emperors of the immortal realm. Humph, I just want you to hear it, otherwise, I didn't say it in vain. Taishu, how long will it take? Li Bai ignored Xiaoxi's words and asked Daijun Taishu slowly. Sir, according to my estimation, it will take another hour. An hour is a little slow, but it's not bad. Subsequently, within this hour, the ferry boat continued to pass through the turbulent currents of time and space. After seeing this ferry boat, countless time and space beasts continued to attack. However, under the blessing of the powerful guardian law, under this, the ferry boat was not damaged at all. An hour later, the immortal boat arrived at an edge place. It was the edge place of the eternal upper world, and it was also the place promised by the spirit tribe. Sir, we are here. Emperor Jun Taishu woke up Li Bai from his deep sleep. Well, let's go. Okay, sir. Immediately, everyone in the immortal boat followed their ancestors and left the immortal boat. Is this the place the spiritual race said it was? Where are the Eldar people? Just when everyone was puzzled, extremely powerful and overwhelming auras appeared in this place. They were people from the spiritual clan. There are 7 people in total, including 3 ancestors of the spirit clan, 2 supreme beings, 1 forerunner, and behind them there are 4 geniuses of the spirit clan. You have finally arrived, we have been waiting for a long time. An ancestor of the spiritual clan said slowly when they saw Daijun Taishu. Oh, why are you such an old man? Dijun Taishu asked curiously. Bring the juniors here to practice. After all, this is the great emperor's cemetery. Maybe there will be opportunities suitable for the juniors in the future. Haha, that's right. According to your personality, you are actually able to share. The sun is coming out from the west. How strange. Dijun Taishu said with a sneer. Look what you said, we spiritual tribe are also the controllers of the upper realm after all, so naturally we have to think about the sentient beings in the upper realm. The ancestor of the spirit race said with a smile. At the same time, his eyes kept passing over Li Bai and everyone. After a moment, a look of satisfaction flashed in his eyes. Hearing this sentence, all the ancestors of the 5 imperial clans sneered at it. They should keep this sentence to deceive ghosts. If it weren't for adults, how could they know the secret? Are those the geniuses of the spirit clan? The 4 Chaos God Kings are really awesome. They are worthy of the spirit race. Yes, this is still on the surface. Who knows, secretly, how many Chaos God King geniuses they have. But, why, I always feel that their aura is not as oppressive as that of Dijun. Who knows, maybe it's hidden. However, after seeing these 4 spiritual geniuses, Emperor Junhui, Mu Xianjun, Mou, and others also had doubtful looks in their eyes, even though their auras were all chaotic. God King, but I always feel that something is wrong. Did you also find clues? Dijun asked in a low voice to several people. Well, I always feel that there is something wrong with their realm, not only that, but also their aura. Mu Xianjun frowned and said, his physique is special, he can sense the aura on them, something is wrong. Aura. What's wrong with their aura? Hearing this, Dijun and others asked in unison. Maybe I feel it wrong, they don't look like living people, more like puppets being controlled, and their aura is not as strong as those 3 old guys. To be precise, there are still a few auras that are not from the spirit race. Mu Xianjun frowned and said. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 382. Hearing Mu Xianjun's words, Dijun and others frowned even more seriously. They also knew that Mu Xianjun's physique was definitely not groundless. Is it possible that they are really not alive? But, in this case, why would the spirit race let them go to the great emperor's cemetery? I don't know, but it's obvious that this is definitely a conspiracy. And Emperor Jun Taishu, the emperors of the 5 imperial clans, could naturally sense the abnormality of these 4 geniuses. You spirit race geniuses are a bit special. It seems, but not, your spirit son and spirit daughter. Dijun Taishu said with a sneer. They were all the geniuses of the previous era, and they almost became spirit sons and spirit daughters, but later, due to some changes, they were dusted by our spirit clan. This time, we also brought them out to integrate the atmosphere of this era, so, we'll be a little special. The spirit tribe forerunner said slowly. That's it? All the emperors looked like they were suddenly enlightened. After Li Bai saw these spiritual tribesmen, he secretly said. Haha, 3 dying old immortals and 4 long-dead geniuses. I thought they were so courageous that they could really sacrifice their own people in order to summon the phantom of fate. At the end of the day, those guys are still afraid of death. Okay, everyone, it's getting late, let's set off immediately. After the spirit tribe forerunner finished speaking, a black hole appeared faintly behind him, like a door to hell leading to death. By the way, if you wear this on your body, it can protect you from passing through the turbulence of time and space safely. Remember not to take it off. Otherwise, if something happens, don't blame us spirit race. The spirit race first threw out dozens of jade pendants to distribute to the emperors and geniuses. It is warm and cool in the hand, but there are dark yellow impurities inside, just like the patina of a quilt, an extremely simple jade pendant. Other than that, it has no special characteristics. There's no fraud here, right? Dijun Taishu said with a smile. If you think it's a scam, you can naturally choose not to wear it. When the time comes, if anything happens, don't blame us. The Eldar Forerunner said nonchalantly. In this case, we have to wear them even more. The Forerunners of the spirit race watched each person put on the jade pendant, with a hint of joy in his eyes. The first step was finally completed. These people are really stupid, they were fooled after a little excitement. Okay, everyone, come with us. After finishing speaking, the emperors and the geniuses slowly entered the black hole. In an instant, an unstoppable force invaded their souls and minds. In an instant, everyone except Li Bai fell into a deep sleep, even the ancestor and the cursed goddess. It's interesting. They actually arranged a few strands of absolute bewilderment in the turbulence of time and space. They can find such things. It's pretty cool. It seems that they don't want us to find out the clues. Immediately, Li Bai also pretended to fall into a deep sleep. As for the spirit race forerunner, after carefully observing each person to ensure that they were all asleep, the smile on his face suddenly disappeared, replaced by a cold, cruel look, and at the same time, there was also a fanatical look, as if it was about to be completed. What a unique event. Haha, I really didn't expect that they actually called their most talented emperor here. God help me. Ha ha ha, yes, ancestor, not only that, the Daijun clan actually brought Dijunwia, the genius of the era. After this, even if it fails, the Daijun clan will no longer be our opponent. Haha, they should feel honored to be the victims of sacrifice. That's right, we are all dying. If we can make such a great contribution to the spiritual clan, we deserve to die. The other two ancestors had a look of determination in their eyes. Okay, this time it's about the fate of our spiritual tribe. Don't forget, our hatred towards the immortal territory and Li Bai. If we can succeed this time, we can immediately attack the immortal territory, or even directly occupy it. The immortal realm will eventually encroach on all the heavens and worlds. The spirit tribe forerunner said with great resentment. Boss, tell me, who is this innate origin, and will he really help us? We can't help them. After all, we discovered a huge secret in that memory fragment, which is enough to detonate all the secrets. The forerunner of the spirit race said strangely, he was confident about all this. As time passed, everyone finally arrived at a primitive and desolate place, but everyone still fell into a deep sleep. In this desolate land, there are no living creatures, nor any signs of living things. The sky is always shrouded in dusk, and at the same time, wisps of the most primitive destiny continue to linger. Okay, let's start. Okay, boss. After finishing speaking, the three spiritual emperors forced out a drop of strange blood from the tip of their hearts, and slowly sank into the earth. In an instant, the earth continued to shake, opening up bottomless ravines. The wisps of dusk in the sky were gradually eaten away and swallowed up. A stream of primitive breath burst out from the ravines. In an instant, the entire primitive desolation the place seems to have returned to some ancient era. An era that has long since declined. Not only that, but wisps of extremely terrifying auras slowly appeared. Boom! Boom! Around the crowd, 7 towering pillars rose from the ground and reached into the sky. Each pillar was stained with blood and had traces left by various swords and knives, and exuded a terrifying breath. This kind of fear is not the fear of being so powerful that it is outrageous, but the fear of facing the Creator. Then, a wisp of the most primitive destiny was constantly absorbed by these 7 pillars. Buzz. The next moment, the 7 pillars seemed to sense something and kept resonating. At the same time, some incomprehensible ancient vicissitudes of life slowly came out from the pillars, as if they were the whispers of the ancient gods. Then, in the center of the 7 pillars, the earth turned into a vortex, and there was a faint sense that something terrifying was about to appear. Accompanied by the descent of rays of light, finally, A sacrificial platform gradually emerged, and at the same time, a coffin slowly appeared in the center. And when the three spirit emperors saw this coffin, their eyes burst into an extremely strong fanaticism. It's worth it, we have been planning for so long. Yes, in order to get these 7 pillars, we almost spent all the spirit race. Although it's just a replica, it's enough. Okay, wake them up and let them participate in this historic sacrifice. Okay. After that, the 2 spirit race emperors fed everyone a pill, and from beginning to end, they didn't notice the specialness of Ling Mei and others. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 383. After a long time, the emperors and the Tianjiao slowly woke up. At this moment, they felt a splitting headache. After all, Teishumihan was not something that calmed the mind, but forced the soul and spirit to stop. This was an irreversible damage, although it was very small. After adapting for a long time, at first glance, they saw this weird but spectacular scene in front of them. Here, is this the Emperor's cemetery? Damn, what's wrong with those 7 pillars? Look, there's a coffin there. The Tianjiao were shocked by the scene in front of them and stuttered a little. At the same time, they felt that the breath of this place seemed to devour them, but the next moment, it was absorbed by the jade pendants they wore. As for the emperors, they found the abnormality as soon as they woke up. No, my realm, what's wrong? It's sealed, our realm is sealed. Hearing the words of their own emperors, the Tianjiao also hurriedly checked themselves, and the result was the same, the realm was sealed. What's going on? Why is our realm suddenly sealed? Spirit clan, it must be the spirit clans doing it. At this moment, they are just like ordinary people, unarmed and without any resistance. At this time, the 3 emperors of the spirit clan slowly appeared in front of everyone. Hey, you woke up, how about it, did you see it? The spirit clan was extremely enthusiastic first, and their expressions were a little crazy. Spirit clan, what do you mean? Dijun Taishu said angrily. Of course, they knew all this a long time ago, and their anger was just pretending. Damn it, why did you seal our realm? Also, didn't you say that this is a corner of the origin war? Afterwards, all the emperors questioned with rage, and some emperors couldn't help but raise their mouths. At the same time, they also felt that it was really difficult to pretend to be like this, and it was really a test of acting skills. Can't laugh, we are professionally trained. The emperors kept repeating in their hearts. Ha ha ha, don't you know us spirit race yet? You can only blame yourself for being too greedy. So, what conspiracy do you have? Dijun Taishu said with gritted teeth, anger bursting out of his eyes wishing to devour the 3 spirit race emperors. It didn't look like acting at all. The other emperors saw Dijun Taishu's appearance, and sighed in their hearts at the same time. Damn, this old guy, fortunately we know the inside story, otherwise, we really thought he was so angry. Damn, this acting is so good. Tisk tisk, I'm ashamed of myself. See, you are about to complete a great sacrifice to satisfy your wishes before you die. That's right, this is not a great emperor's cemetery, nor is it a corner of the origin war, but the tomb of an acquired originator. How about it, are you surprised? The spirit race pioneer looked at the emperors and asked. What the hell, the tomb of the acquired originator? How is this possible? How did you find it? Haha, you can find the tomb of the acquired originator with your spirit race, you are kidding. The emperors said in horror. The spirit race pioneer looked at the fear on the emperors' faces. Although it felt a bit strange, he was still very satisfied. He just wanted to see their fear. The more fearful they were, the more excited they were. Ha ha ha, as emperors, although your realm is sealed, you have no experience. You should also be able to feel the horror of the coffin. Anyway, you will be sacrificed in the end, so it doesn't matter to us whether you believe it or not. Then, what do you mean by sacrifice just now? Dijun Taishu asked with a frown. It means literally, our spirit race has obtained a method to sacrifice all of you to summon the phantom of the great innate originator, and the most critical condition is that we must find the tomb of the acquired originator and his body, a complete body. Even Li Bai didn't expect this information. He thought there was only a piece of body here, but it turned out to be a complete body. You mean, there is a complete body of acquired originator in that coffin? Emperors such as Dijun and Taichu said in shock. Haha, of course, otherwise, how can we summon the complete phantom of the innate originator? So, you designed this plot to lure us into the game. Damn, you are nothing, you really deserve to die. Every time, you treacherous villains. Hearing these curses, the pioneer of the spirit race sneered and said. Haha, in fact, we didn't have much hope at first. We naturally understand what the spirit race is like in your hearts, and this plan is also full of loopholes, but who can make you unable to control your greedy hearts? This is not our fault. So, we have to sacrifice all of you. You are humming bullshitting. Haven't you thought about the consequences of the spirit race? Sacrificing us, aren't you afraid of a war in the upper realm? Not to mention, there is also the Daijun clan, you are really not afraid. The head of the Mu family cursed. Haha, when our plan succeeds, you are just ants. So, all of you will be sacrificed, not only that, but we will be sacrificed as well. The Eldar pioneer said madly, with a hint of blood in his eyes. Seeing the Eldar pioneer's clown-like appearance, the emperors couldn't help laughing out loud. Huh? What are you laughing at? Ah, nothing, I just thought of something happy. Haha, laugh, after all, this is your last swan song. However, these Tianjiao who were kept in the dark were different, and all kinds of abusive words came flooding in. You Ling clan bastards, Stupid bastards, you, if you want to die, why drag us down with you? We won't let you go even if we become ghosts. After all the Tianjiaos had no more energy to curse, the Ling clan pioneers slowly said. It's almost time, let's sacrifice you Tianjiao first. Wait, I have a few more questions. Dijun Taishu immediately stopped him. You talk too much. Talk about your long-cherished wish after the sacrifice. After that, the three pioneers kept muttering some kind of spell-like language. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 384. Instantly, the jade pendants worn by all the Tianjiao emitted rays of light, and at the same time, there was a strange power. The next moment, all the Tianjiao, including the 4 Tianjiao of the Ling clan, had no time to react, and instantly turned into wisps of blood, which were then absorbed by the 7 towering pillars. The bloodlight seemed to have life, and it kept flowing along the veins of the pillars. No. Spirit clan, you deserve to die. You. Damn it, you deserve to die, Ling clan, our Mu family will never let you go. Our demon palace is the same. The Emperor Jun clan and the Ling clan will fight to the death. The emperors looked at this scene, and although they knew that they would all be resurrected in the end, they still felt a bit of heart-wrenching pain. In the end, the blood slowly flowed along the bottom of the pillar to the coffin in the center of the altar. Click. It was like the sound of a dusty arrow being opened, and all the buried things would reappear. A corner of the coffin was slowly opened, and a faint breath of the originator permeated, and the emperors instantly felt that they had returned to the rotten and withered Taishu era. In front of their eyes, a series of terrifying pictures were drawn, including the pictures of the Origin War, the Taisha demise, the Chaos usurpation, and many people with blurred backs but undetectable breath, as if they were the root of everything. Suddenly, a dry arm stretched out from the corner of the opened coffin, and gradually the original dry arm was replaced by a trace of redness, and flesh and blood slowly grew. This thrilling and terrifying scene shocked all the emperors. They didn't know why, just an arm, in their eyes, seemed to be the big hand of the master of the era, firmly pinching everything of them. This is an irresistible force, as if this arm can destroy everything and create everything. This is. Could this be the arm of the corpse? Acquired originator. Young master. Then, the emperors set their sights on Li Bai. Yes, it is indeed the corpse of an originator, but the aura is too far away from that of the originator in life, not to mention the real innate originators. A real innate originator, 1/1000th of a breath can turn you into nothingness. If you just take a look, you will be entangled by endless ominousness, disaster, fate, karma, cause and effect, and other roots, which is more painful than death. Li Bai said lightly. Among all the people present, only the ancestor, Xiaoxi, and Li Bai can be at ease. After all, they have seen the real originator, whether it is innate or acquired. The three spirit clan ancestors did not pay attention to the whispers of the emperors, and all their energy was focused on this arm. Ha 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 ha, did you see that? This plan really works, sacrifice really works. Feel honored to be able to personally participate in this great sacrifice. Don't worry, you will become one of the heroes of our spirit race to control the heavens and the worlds. Ha 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 ha. The three spirit race ancestors laughed crazily, like crazy. So, can you answer a few of my questions? Dijun Taishu said with red eyes, acting must be complete. Of course, we spirit race are not so indifferent to the last wishes of the dying. The spirit race pioneer nodded and said. The first question, if you sacrifice everything, who will talk to the originator you summoned? Ha ha ha, you don't have to worry about this. When you wait for success, our spirit race explorers will naturally appear. Second, how did you find all this? This question. Obviously, the spirit race pioneer was struggling. Why not? Anyway, we are all dying. Are you afraid of privacy leaks? Dijun Taishu said with a sneer. In that case, I will satisfy you. We, the spirit race, got a memory fragment several epochs ago, and we successfully cracked it. These methods are in that memory fragment, but it's a pity that we can't see some pictures. Hearing this, Li Bai's eyes flashed with an inexplicable color. As he guessed, the spirit race got his memory fragment. However, now I heard that there are still many pictures in that memory fragment that they can't crack and see. This is definitely the greatest joy for Li Bai. So, you have been looking for the necessary things in this plan, and you have already started to plan us. That's right, those 7 giant pillars have seen it. I can tell you that they are the giant pillars of creation. In order to get these 7 replicas, our spirit race has paid everything. Of course, we are also betting on whether this plan can succeed. Now it seems that we bet right. The spirit race laughed wildly. Pillars of creation? What are they? I don't know, I've never heard of them. Hey, is this pillar of creation? Xiaoxi whispered in Li Bai's ear. Yes, the 7 pillars of creation were created by the 7 most powerful innate originators. No one knows where they are, not even me. However, I'm quite curious about what kind of person has seen them and can even imitate them. Even you can't do it? Yes, even I can't do it. Who are these 7 innate origins? Xiaoxi asked again. I only know 6 of them, namely, Qi, Shi, Su, Shi, Yes, and Wu. As for the last one, I don't know, after all, he has never appeared. Have you seen the other 6? Zioxy asked curiously. No. Then you. I don't know either, but these 6 words have been engraved in my memory, and I know they are innate origins. In that case, will the last one be destiny? Impossible, although Xiantian destiny is also an innate originator, it is still a little worse, just like dark disaster, cause and effect innate origin, all of which are second-level innate. Li Bai said slowly. Your world is so terrible, just like an old sow wearing a bar, one set after another. Zioxy sighed. Don't worry, some doubts will be solved today. The last question, what do you want to do by summoning the phantom of the originator? Then, Dijun Taishu asked slowly. Of course we get power from them. Haha, what do you have to exchange? Do you think the originator would be interested in ants like you? Dijun Taishu said mercilessly. Ha 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 ha, you don't have to worry about this, because we have their handle, and it is the most deadly handle. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 385. Hearing this, Li Bai was also a little surprised. If the most fatal handle against those innate originators is what it is nothing more than that the innate originators were created, and there is an era buried by them before Taishu. Of course, Li Bai is not sure whether they are referring to this point, and he is not sure whether the spirit race has absorbed it from that memory fragment. Can you tell us? Emperor Jun Taishu looked directly at the pioneer of the spirit race and said. This is impossible. Don't think too much. I can only tell you that it is a sentence recorded in that memory fragment. Okay, you have asked enough, and we have also satisfied your long-cherished wish. Next, it's you. After all, you are the most important link. Don't worry, your family will be controlled by us one by one next. After that, the 3 spirit race ancestors uttered an obscure spell again. The emperors instantly felt that a wisp of terrifying power was separated from the giant pillar of creation, and then merged into the jade pendant. Boom! In an instant, groups of blood-red light enveloped everyone, and the emperors also realized that their flesh and blood were being eaten away by the red light. However, after all, they were all emperors. Although their realms were sealed, their bodies had been baptized by the emperor's calamity, so naturally they would not die so quickly. Spirit race, you will definitely fail. By then, we will laugh at you wantonly under the 9 nethers. Spirit race, you wait, we will eventually return after reincarnation for thousands of years. You. Listening to the emperor's hoarse curses, the pioneers of the spirit race laughed instead of being angry. Ha ha ha, if you really reincarnate back, that's the time. After all, you are ants, and we, the spirit race, have completely controlled the heavens and the worlds. We are waiting for your reincarnation back. As the words fell, all the emperors fell, and the blood mist turned into drops of blood in the giant pillar of creation, and continued to gather in the tube coffin. After a moment, the coffin continued to vibrate and emit a violent roar, and the 7 giant pillars of creation were also constantly resonating, as if something was about to appear. An ancient and vicissitudes of life voice, as if it had crossed countless eras, slowly came out of the coffin. I feel the breath of my own kind. The 3 pioneers of the spirit race saw this scene, and after hearing this sentence, the fanaticism in their eyes completely overwhelmed everything. We are about to succeed. Ha 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 ha, God help us spirit race, protect us spirit race. Next, it's us ourselves. I am willing to sacrifice everything I have and summon the origin. I am willing to sacrifice everything I have and summon the origin. I am willing to sacrifice everything I have and summon the origin. After saying this, the 3 spirit race ancestors sacrificed themselves without any hesitation, and then their entire bodies were gradually decomposed. At the same time, the spirit race ancestors who had been waiting outside for a long time also received news. Ha ha ha, we succeeded, we are about to succeed. Let's go see which originator it is. After that, more than a dozen spirit ancestors stepped into the black hole together. Just when the 3 spirit ancestors who sacrificed themselves were about to perish completely, they saw a scene that made them terrified. The emperors of Daijun and Taishu, who should have disappeared long ago, slowly appeared in front of them. At the same time, every emperor had a playful smile on his face, as if he was watching a clown. Not only that, they also saw 2 very familiar faces, Li Bai and Lingmei. At this moment, they finally understood that the other party knew all this from the beginning to the end, and everything before was just acting. The root of all this was the man in white. The enthusiasm in their eyes was extinguished, replaced by endless darkness and coldness. They failed, and the ancestors outside might also be on the verge of extinction. Especially after seeing the coldness flashing in Li Bai's eyes, they knew that from now on, the spirit race was also finished, and Li Bai would not let them go. However, they understood it too late at this moment. After all, they did not drink the water of origin. In the end, in endless fear and regret, they completely perished. They did not understand until their death why Li Bai knew all this clearly, nor did they know how they were resurrected. Ha 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 ha, did you see it? Their eyes made me laugh to death. Ha ha, it's worth it that we have been acting with them before. Tisk tisk, I really want to see it again. The emperor said sarcastically. By the way, my lord, are we and the others okay? Dijun Taishu asked slowly. Don't worry, they should be sleeping in the heavenly palace now. Okay, everyone, the people of the spiritual clan are probably coming soon, let's hide. Li Bai said to the emperors. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. In an instant, the figures of the emperors disappeared into the void, and then Li Bai completely sealed the void where they hid to prevent their breath from leaking out. With the completion of the sacrificial ceremony, the entire primitive desolate land underwent drastic changes. First, the sky disappeared, directly exposed in the deep space universe. Every grain of dust and soil on the earth was also stained with a trace of decay. After a long time, the coffin was finally opened completely. Boom! In an instant, a wisp of origin breath continued to spread outward like a wave of destruction. After a few seconds, this breath followed the turbulence of time and space and swept through countless origin worlds. At the same time, it also alarmed the gazes of countless ancient creatures. Their sights tried to find the source of this breath through layers of obstacles, but in the end, they were disappointed. They could not trace the source of this breath. This breath is really the acquired originator. In the void, Xioxi whispered. Indeed, but it has been weakened too much. It seems that his strength has not recovered to the peak, only less than 1/10,000th. The ancestor said lightly. Damn, less than 1/10,000th, if it weren't for the seal of the adults, if we faced it directly, it would directly become nothingness. Yes, I feel that this breath can crush the entire eternal upper realm. Just as the emperors were discussing, the coffin kept trembling, and then a man slowly crawled out of it. At the moment the man woke up, at the junction of the heaven of fate and the land of disaster, a man with a stern face and an extremely terrifying aura control and a woman whose face was obscured by wisps of fate, opened their eyes at the same time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, Met the Empress's Apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 386. It seems like you feel it too. The woman's voice was extremely ethereal, as if it were synthesized. Well, it should be your dependent, but it's not. It just carries a trace of your origin. The man said slowly. So, when are you planning to leave here? After all, The fate you are pursuing is just false. The woman looked at the man and said slowly. You still think that the destiny I am pursuing is just an illusion? The man sighed again. At your level, you should also understand that some things can't be changed without personally joining the game. For example, even if you join the game personally, what's the use of helping him? He has traced back to the endless era, and there is only one. It's just a clue, but the road is even more hazy. Furthermore, with your talent, you could have been on the upper level, or even surpassed our category, but now, the end of the road has been completely blocked. In the end, it can only be a life and death situation. So, for him, is it really worth it? The woman said with a little pity. You don't understand. Your Excellency is like a reborn parent to me. It was he who redeemed me in that war. I am the remnant of the era. There is no such thing as worthiness or not, only what I do or not. The woman smiled when she heard this and said, what a stubborn donkey. Since you are the remains of the era, how can you not know how terrible they are? They completely buried that era and that group of people. Do you think you can completely get rid of the fate that has befallen you? What's more, he doesn't know your true identity, and that memory of his was cut off by his own hands. From this point, you should also understand that he didn't have any confidence back then. The woman said slowly. Perhaps, sir, you thought all this was in vain at the beginning, but I know that in his heart, he never gave up, no matter how he cut himself off. This is the same. And what I want to do is to become a stepping stone for that answer. Sooner or later, adults will touch it. The man said without regret, as if this was also his fate. Xuanhuan, what on earth do I have to say so that you can understand that all of this is simply impossible? His path will have no end. He can only sink forever, cut himself off and find his own path. This time, there was obviously a trace of anger in the woman's voice. Then why are you like this? You have planned for countless epochs and planted the seeds one by one. Isn't it just for this day that you can see the Lord again and tell him some information? The man asked rhetorically. You know what the heck, there are only interests between me and him, and I also have what I want. Currently, he is the best cooperation. And this was decided before he cut off his memory. Do you think I'm as stupid as you, knowing that this road has no end, yet you still want to join? The woman said with a sneer. In that case, why did you save Xuanhuan in the first place? You know how important she is to adults. Don't tell me that she is also part of your deal. The man said with a smile. I don't understand, what are you talking about? I don't know Xuanhuan. Stop pretending, I know that Xuanhuan is in a deep sleep now, and is sealed in an unknown place by you. You are too much in charge. Don't think that I can't do anything to you just because you are the ruins of the era. The woman's voice became extremely cold, as if it could completely condense the time, space, and history of an era. In response to this, the man just smiled slightly. Women are always smart and mean. Okay, let's not talk about this. If that's the case, why don't you use your real body and use your shadow? Haha, it's not like you don't know how seriously those 7 guys monitor us. If they find out that I have dealings with him, my position will probably be replaced. The woman said slowly. However, you are still planning all this in private without hesitation, right? Even when you are wandering around, Sword Immortal, Wu Ending, Qing Emperor, Chongtong, Mortal Emperor, the Eternal Empress, etc., you may meet with me in the future. There are many clues left behind on people. Don't you think this means that you have already entered the path of becoming an adult? The man asked again. You understand, I am the innate destiny, and all of this is just for profit. I won't tell you any more. I'm going to show up soon. You can stay here if you like. I won't accompany you anymore, you stubborn donkey. After the woman finished speaking, she left in a hurry, leaving the man alone in the heaven of fate and the land of disaster. Haha, what a duplicitous woman. The man said with a smile, then, with a trace of longing flashing in his eyes, he looked in a certain direction and said, "Sir, I want to see you so much, but the roll of my chess piece is not over yet. Perhaps, when we meet again, it will be in that answer." On the other side, a primitive and barren land. The man was dressed in coarse linen clothes, with an extremely handsome face, and his eyes reflected the extremely ancient vicissitudes of life. In an instant, the world changed, and the whole fall of Taisha seemed to be contained in these eyes. The new era is so strange to me. Huh? There is also a breath that has the same origin as me. After the man's eyes were locked in one direction, he immediately retracted his eyes. It was the void where Li Bai and others were hiding. The moment he retracted his eyes, a subtle smile appeared on the corner of the man's mouth. Damn it, he didn't notice us, did he? It's so scary. This look, I feel like if I look at it one more time, what will happen? It will explode. He should have felt your presence. After all, you both have the same fate in your body. Li Bai looked at the ancestor and said slowly. But, I don't know him. I remember the origin of innate destiny, and there is no such dependent. The ancestor said doubtfully. Not all creatures who receive gifts from the innate originator will become dependents. For example, he is an exception. Li Bai said slowly. Sir, if this is the case, why did the origin of destiny grant it? It's very simple. They need some experiments. However, their nature is slightly different from that of your descendants. Their minions do not rely too much on the innate originators. You are different. However, your upper limit is much higher than that of these acquired origins. If you fight against him, even with the strength of the transcendent, you will not be at a disadvantage. Li Bai said lightly. I see, no wonder, I've never seen him. Then, the man looked around and saw 7 giant pillars of creation, with a glimmer of light flashing in his eyes. Although the pillar of creation is only an imitation, it also copies a trace of the original image. Interesting, I wonder what kind of creature did it. However, what puzzles me even more is that this method of sacrifice still exists in the world. Wasn't it all buried by those guys? A flash of doubt flashed in the man's eyes. After seeing these 7 pillars of creation, the man understood everything, including the method of sacrifice. I want to see if that race has the courage to make a deal with them. After the man finished speaking, he closed his eyes and waited quietly for the person who came. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 387. As time went by, finally, there was movement in the primitive and barren land. I saw a black hole slowly appearing, and then dozens of creatures walked out of it. They were the spirit creatures who had been waiting outside for a long time. Their lowest realm is supreme, and they also have 2 forerunners and 2 explorers. A race of this strength can basically run sideways in all the worlds, not to mention they have a half-step creator. At this moment, Ling Biao, who was hiding in the void, saw this group of people, and his body trembled unconsciously, as if he recalled some horrific scene, and his hand unconsciously touched somewhere behind his back, as if there was a mark there. What shame! After feeling that something was missing, Ling Biao's trembling body became calm. He clenched his silver teeth and made a squeaking sound. The fear in his eyes was replaced by endless resentment. Why, are you still afraid of them? Li Bai looked at Ling Biao's appearance and said comfortingly. Sir, I have no fear now, I just want to deal with them myself. But even this can't heal the hatred in my heart. Ling Biao looked at these people from the spirit clan and said harshly. Don't worry, I told you that the spirit race must be destroyed. At that time, maybe we can find out things about your parents from their mouths. Li Bai said lightly. I never questioned your lord. Ling Biao said firmly. Watch the show with peace of mind, a good show is about to take place. At this time, after entering this desolate primitive land, more than a dozen ancestors of the spiritual tribe saw the man with his eyes closed on the sacrificial platform at first sight. After feeling the terrifying aura on the man's body, everyone concluded that this man must be the resurrected originator. The Spirit Clan, Lingwu Emperor, has seen the originator. The Spirit Clan, Spirit Sky, have seen the originator. The Spirit Race, has met the seniors. Immediately, after the two explorers spoke, the rest of the Spirit tribe also shouted respectfully. After a moment, the man slowly opened his eyes and glanced at everyone in the Spirit Race. Suddenly, he felt that all his secrets were hidden. Are you the ones using the sacrificial method? The man spoke slowly. Yes, my lord. Well, among all the races in the world, there is only one, the half-step creator. He is too weak, and he has arrogated to other races. It seems that you are plunderers from some small world. The man said slowly. In one sentence, he directly understood the basics of the spiritual clan. Emperor Lingwu and Lingtian were not angry when they heard the man's words. Instead, they smiled and said, Sir, what about the arrogant ones? History will only remember the victors and is written by the victors. Losers will just turn into foam and disappear into the long river of history. Well, I still agree with this sentence. It seems that you have great ambitions. So, you want to see the creature behind me? The man said slowly. Yes, sir, since you know this method of sacrifice, you must also understand its purpose. You can't stop it? I'm very curious how such a weak race dares to make a deal with innate origin. The man asked curiously. Haha, sir, you don't need to know this. Since we have sacrificed, it means that we are 100% sure that we can trade with him. Then what are your demands for the transaction? Get power and control the heavens and worlds. Emperor Lingwu said without hesitation, anyway, there are only people from the spiritual clan in this place now. Upon hearing this, the man raised his eyebrows and said slowly. To control all the heavens and all the worlds, a complete world of origin, you are quite courageous. Don't you just know that all the heavens and all the worlds belong to a certain adult? Sir, there is no need to be shy. What you want to say is Li Bai, right? Li Bai. It turns out that this person's surname is Li. Since you know each other, you should also know how terrifying he is. So what? We admit that Li Bai is indeed scary, but how can someone with an innate origin be scary? If he had the strength of the innate originator, the battle between Emperor Luo in the immortal realm at that time would not have been so tragic, not to mention that Jushin will return to the immortal realm in the near future. Emperor Lingwu said slowly. When Zioxi in the void heard these words, his face clearly showed a look of astonishment. Where did they get the confidence to say that Li Bai is not as scary as the innate originator? He is obviously much more scary. He, it seems that you should stop taking it lightly. Zioxi stuck out her tongue at Li Bai. There is no way. Since the War of Origin, I have been deliberately restraining myself and starting a new reincarnation at every turn. It is normal for them to have this idea. Li Bai said lightly. TCH, stop pretending. Others don't understand, but I don't understand. Isn't it just because of the restrictions of experiments and other shackles that you are like this? If you really want to kill the spiritual race, you don't have to wait until now. Zioxi said disdainfully. So, you regard him as the same kind as me? The man who heard this said with a hint of ridicule on his face. In response, Ling Wuhuang and others did not answer, but the light in their eyes revealed everything. Haha, it's true that those who don't know are fearless. After all, we are ants blinded by desire, and we actually want to challenge something impossible, or even replace it. You don't understand the horror of that adult at all. Maybe you won't think so after you see the innate originator. The man shook his head and said, My lord, you seem to have gone too far. Shh, she's coming. After the man finished speaking, he ignored the spirits and others. After hearing the man's words, the spirits immediately became extremely respectful and serious. The she he was referring to was naturally the innate originator. After a while, the whole world kept changing, as if it was dragged into a world without time, without rules, and without any supervision. A wisp of ethereal and uncertain breath of fate slowly came from nowhere. In an instant, everyone, including the emperors hidden in the void, felt that their fate seemed to have appeared. They saw countless endings of themselves, with life and death. You have to know that the creatures who have reached the realm of the Forerunners have long abandoned their own destiny and cause and effect, but at this moment, the destiny that should have disappeared long ago has returned again, but this time the destiny is different. They cannot control it, they cannot change it, they can only let the destiny go. But the situation on the side of the spirits is different. All of them see that there is only one ending, extinction, complete extinction. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 388. It's really her. The ancestor said dully. At this moment, after feeling this breath again, she didn't know what kind of mood she was feeling. She felt guilty and resentful, but it was more of an indescribable emotion. Immediately, a woman with a blurred face and a shining white fairy dress slowly appeared in front of everyone. She seemed to be the community of destiny and the source of the destiny of all living things. This woman is the originator of innate destiny. You finally appeared, although it was just a shadow. The man said with a smile after seeing the woman. Well, you also know that we can't be exposed at will now, let alone some guys are sealed in that place. Innate destiny said slowly. Did you place my body here originally? The man said slowly. Oh, how can I see it? Xuanhuan destiny said slowly, without any emotion in his voice. It's just intuition. As expected of my junior, your intuition is good. The woman said calmly. You flatter me. Okay, I'll talk to you later, I have other things to do right now. Please, I just want to know what conditions they can exchange with you. After the man finished speaking, he quietly walked aside, ready to watch the show in peace. Did you summon me? Then, Xuanhuan Destiny asked everyone in the spiritual tribe. It was just a gentle word, but when it fell on Ling Wuhuang and the others, they felt like countless epochs were carried on their backs. The next moment, they all knelt down. Emperor Lingwu has seen the innate originator. Ling Tian, I have seen the innate originator. As for the others, they didn't even have the courage to speak, or even look directly at him. Answer my question first. It's the innate originator. Emperor Lingwu said fearfully, even if he has the handle of the exchange conditions in his hand, after encountering the innate origin, fear will inevitably arise in his heart, not to mention that this is just a phantom. Where did you learn about this method? I clearly remember that they should all be buried by us. Innate destiny said slowly. It's a memory fragment, we learned about it from there. Emperor Lingwu couldn't really resist, so he had no choice but to speak out. Tell me, what can I ask for? Innate destiny continued as if he was not interested. We want to get a piece of your power. Emperor Lingwu said bravely. After saying these words, his whole body was shaking continuously, and he even found that his way forward was crumbling little by little. After a long time, innate destiny slowly said. An ant-like race actually wants to gain our power. I have to say, you are really brave. Since you want to get my power, why? Control all the heavens and worlds, kill one person. At this moment, Emperor Lingwu was like a puppet. He would answer whatever his destiny asked him. Interesting, Since you dare to say this condition, it means that you have the conditions to match it? Tell me, what can you exchange with me? I'm very curious. Xiantian Destiny said calmly. Our conditions are. The words came to my mouth, but they never came out. Innate Destiny also lost its patience and said coldly. Since you can't get it out, you can die. The breath of death gradually approached everyone, and after a 10,000th of a second, all the supreme beings of the spirit race fell into nothingness, leaving only 2 explorers and 2 forerunners. In an instant, Ling Wuhuang's strong desire for survival caused him to break through all the shackles. Haha, of course we have conditions, and you can't refuse this condition. After all, we know your secrets, the secrets you tried your best to hide. Our secret? Xiantian Destiny asked, pretending to be curious. It's very simple. It's the era buried by you. We know that the beginning is not the starting point. There are many eras before the beginning, and it's all related to you. Not only that, many of you among the innate originators have been planning how to replace them, so those 7 are right. You don't want this secret to be discovered. If we die now, then this secret will quickly spread throughout the world. I don't need to say more about the consequences. You can consider it. At this moment, Emperor Lingwu didn't know where he got the confidence to dare to speak to her in such a tone. After being silent for a long time, Emperor Lingwu thought that the secret could contain her, but a word of innate destiny completely pushed him to the abyss of death. Haha, that's it? I thought it was a secret. Li Bai, what do you think? Also, you have been hiding for long enough, and now I have appeared, it's time to come out. Hearing these words, Ling Wuivang and others were dumbfounded, as if they had heard some big joke. They turned their heads and looked back like a machine. A gap was slowly torn open in the void, and then the emperors slowly appeared. Then, the 2 most familiar faces to them also appeared. It was Li Bai and Ling Biao. Li Bai, you, it's impossible, absolutely impossible, haven't you already been sacrificed? I must be dreaming. Illusion must be an illusion. Ling Wuhuang and the other 4 looked like they had seen a ghost and were as surprised as dead pigs. Ha ha ha, you are a bunch of idiots. Your plan has already been seen through by adults. Before, we were just acting with you. The reason why we can be resurrected is naturally because of the water of origin. Oh, by the way, you may not know what this is. The emperor said mockingly. Ling Ai, you actually betrayed us. You deserve to die. After Ling Tian saw Ling Biao, his eyes were blood red, and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. You Eldar should have died long ago. You actually tested my parents in an attempt to gain eternal power. It's not enough for me to kill you 1,000 times. Ling Biao said sinisterly. You knew already. Haha, do you think adults don't know? Ling Biao scoffed wantonly. Li Bai, you are really haunted. Ling Wuhuang looked at Li Bai word and said, if eyes could kill, Li Bai would have died countless times. Originally, I wasn't actually interested in you, but you took something you shouldn't have. How about it, are my memory fragments useful? Li Bai said lightly. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 389. What's the meaning? Emperor Lingwu said in horror. He thought of an extremely terrifying fact. If that was really the case, wouldn't Li Bai? Literally, that piece of memory is mine. Li Bai said with a smile. Boom. The minds of the 4 people exploded in an instant. They never thought that the memory fragments that recorded many secrets turned out to be Li Bai's. No wonder he knew all this. Love is someone else's thing. At this moment, the four of them could no longer say anything, because they knew that Li Bai would not let them go, nor the spiritual clan. It turned out that the destruction they saw came from Li Bai. Li Bai, can you let our spiritual tribe go? Emperor Lingwu was stunned for a long time after saying this, and then smiled to himself. How could Li Bai let them go? Even they had to understand the principle of cutting the grass and eradicating the roots. How could Li Bai not understand? You must perish and peek at my memory fragments. This is one thing. As for the other hand, it is naturally the return of the original heaven in the upper world. Li Bai said lightly. Let the original way of heaven in the upper world return. Nalan, release a ray of your breath. Li Bai said to Nalan Yan. Okay, sir. After finishing speaking, Nalan Yan immediately released her aura, and in an instant, the four spiritual emperors widened their eyes. How is it possible? It's the aura of that clan. Didn't we destroy it? There is no trace of blood left. Did we miss it? Haha, I hunt eagles all day long, but my eyes are pecked out by eagles. Li Bai, is she the last bloodline? Emperor Lingwu asked slowly. His eyes had lost all expression, not even the desire to survive. She is the guardian, the true bloodline, in the lower world. You have lived long enough. When it comes time for execution, I can make your death more glorious. I grant you that you will be destroyed forever, and reincarnation will be destroyed. After Li Bai finished speaking, he waved his hand without any nonsense. In an instant, the entire world began to boil, and the void gradually became violent. Wisps of the power of reincarnation filled the space. Immediately afterwards, a gap was torn open in the void, and a giant bronze door slowly appeared. Countless strange words were engraved on the door, and wisps of cyan light swayed out from the cracks in the giant door. It's the door to reincarnation. However, the gate of reincarnation this time is much stronger than the one Li Bai displayed last time. After all, the gate of reincarnation last time was just the gate of reincarnation in the immortal realm, but this time it is the gate of reincarnation in the heavens. Boundary. In an instant, Dijun Taishu and others felt as if they were being dragged into eternal reincarnation by these wisps of green light. This is the gate of reincarnation, the real gate of reincarnation. Niao Niao said in shock. Tisk tisk, you are worthy of being an adult. You can even summon the gate of reincarnation in all the heavens and worlds. Damn it, I feel like I'm going to be dragged through the door and trapped in reincarnation the next moment. It's just for all the worlds. It's not really a gate of reincarnation. After all, there's an innate lord of reincarnation suppressing it. If it's his gate of reincarnation, even the entire world of origin and the entire era can be reincarnated. Zioxy said calmly, these methods are just the most common for Li Bai, there is nothing to make a fuss about. After Emperor Lingwu and others saw the gate of reincarnation, they also understood how much Li Bai wanted to kill them and fall into eternal reincarnation. A moment later, Emperor Lingwu and others were directly transformed into blue smoke by the wisps of light of reincarnation. Crunch. The door of reincarnation slowly opened, revealing vortexes of light inside. Then, the wisps of green smoke were directly sucked into the door of reincarnation by the unstoppable suction force. At this point, all the people of the spiritual clan have perished. Crunch. The door of reincarnation then slowly closed and disappeared into the void, as if it had never happened before. Okay, now it's your business. Li Bai said to the emperors of Emperor Jun Taishu. Sir, please speak. You gather all the forces in the upper world and destroy the spirit race. Hearing this, the emperor's eyes suddenly widened with disbelief on their faces. Sir, this is a bit difficult. Dijun Taishu said with a frown. Don't worry, I will send you the specific location of the spiritual clan's ancestral land. As for the half-step creator, Dashichan is here, so there is nothing to be afraid of. After wiping out the spirit clan, you can divide the resources between you. Li Bai said lightly. Okay, sir. Ha 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 ha, what a big surprise. Thank you, sir. The emperors were suddenly overwhelmed with excitement. The resources in the ancestral land of the spiritual race were so rich that they couldn't imagine. Maybe with these resources, they could be a forerunner. Da Shachun, don't kill that half-step creator yet. Then I'll have something to ask him. Li Bai said to Da Shachun. Okay, sir. After finishing speaking, Li Bai waved his hand, and in an instant Dai Juntaishu and others left the space directly, leaving only the three ancestors and Zioxi. At this moment, in the main hall of the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace, the figures of Emperor Juntaishu and others slowly appeared. Ancestor. Master. Grandfather. Emperor Xuanhuan and the geniuses said excitedly after seeing their ancestors. Grandpa, what on earth is going on? Aren't we already sacrificed? Did Xuanhuan ask doubtfully. I'll talk to you about this issue later. Everyone, start taking action. Your Excellency has just told me the specific location of the spirit tribe. Emperor Juntaishu looked at the great emperors and said. Ha ha ha, let's go back and mobilize immediately. So are we. In just an instant, the 5 imperial clans and the Emperor Jun clan disappeared into the hall with their geniuses. Wilhen, notify all the quasi-emperors Zhonglai, notify the sword immortal guards, bring all the ancient beasts and dispatch. Niao Niao said to Jian Wilhen extremely excitedly. Yes, ancestor. Jian Wilhen had unconcealable excitement on his face. 11th ancestor, what on earth is going on? Jian Wuifeng asked doubtfully. The upper world is going to change. The Eldar are about to be destroyed. Jian Shi couldn't hide his excitement and said excitedly. What the hell? Holy crap, I traveled through time. After I die once, will the spirit race be gone? Seriously? This is your personal order, and the outcome is certain. By the way, Qin Tian, Dugukaiubai, you should also quickly inform your families to kill the spiritual clan. Oh, good ancestor. Yes, ancestor. Qin Feng and Dugukaiubai kept nodding like chickens pecking at rice. Just a few hours later, a piece of news instantly swept through the entire upper realm and the entire 13 states, causing huge waves. The Emperor Jun clan, the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace, the Mu family, the Demon Palace, jointly launch a war of genocide against the Spirit Clan. I hope that all the Imperial Clan will join. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 390. When hearing this news, countless beings in the upper realm were stunned. They thought they had heard it wrong. After all, that was the spirit race, a race that had ruled the eternal upper realm for several epochs and plundered countless wealth. Under the rule of the spirit race, countless forces have been destroyed for countless epochs. They all wanted to challenge the power of the spirit race. If any force wants to join, issue a statement within 1 hour, otherwise, it will be too late. Then, Dijun Taishu's voice spread throughout the universe again. What's going on? When I wake up, the sky is going to change. I must have heard it wrong. I'll go back to sleep. Are the Emperor Jun clan and these Emperor clans too arrogant? Don't they know how terrifying the Spirit clan is? Maybe it's because something happened to the Spirit clan. Afterwards, almost all the Emperor clans in the upper realm received this message. The authenticity of the message is self-evident, but most of them are still in a wait-and-see state. Only a few Emperor clans immediately sent troops, especially the forces of Qin Feng and Dugukaiubai. Qin family, send troops to attack the Spirit clan. Wanjian sect, send troops to attack the Spirit clan. The emperors of the two families shouted directly to the entire sky of the upper realm. They knew that not long ago, The Emperor Jun clan and the 5 major emperor clans and the Spirit clan went to a great emperor cemetery together, and now this kind of thing suddenly appeared. It must be that something happened to the Spirit clan in the great emperor cemetery. There are really emperors who agree with it. The Qin family and the Wanjian sect are the forces of Xianjianzhou. Although they are not as good as Xianjian Tiangong, they are also a force with 2 emperors. Let's do it for real. Damn it, I also want to see how the spirit race is destroyed. Afterwards, countless people from the upper realm saw with their own eyes that the people of the 5 great emperor clans all went out, including the emperors, quasi-emperors, and trained troops in their clans, all swarmed up and went to Xianjianzhou to join. In an instant, it seemed that the sky of the upper realm was trembling, and wisps of the emperor's breath were constantly transmitted into the sky, and constantly stimulated the nerves of countless creatures. Countless kinds of terrifying visions continued to appear in the deep space universe, shaking the universe. This is definitely a scene that countless people from the upper realm can hardly see in their lifetime. At this moment, the void above Xianjianzhou continued to tremble, and a huge crack emerged, from which several wisps of the emperor's breath came out. Then, hundreds of figures slowly walked out of it, and they were the 4 holy places in the lower world. Finally, we are in the upper world again. Emperor Zilan said slowly. Now I still feel like I am dreaming. If it weren't for the adults saying it in person, I wouldn't believe that we are here to wipe out the spirit race. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said with a smile. Who isn't? When I heard the news just now, I was almost scared to death. If it weren't for the adults telling us what happened, I'm afraid I wouldn't have the courage to come here. Haha, it's a pity that the 2 old guys are still sleeping and can't catch up with this battle that changes the situation. But brother Zilan, what I can't imagine is that your Zilan Holy Land actually has a heavenly Dao orphan and a heavenly Dao guardian. It's really hidden deep enough. Immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said with a smile and looked at the girl next to Emperor Zilan, who was Kanglan himself. At this moment, her mind was blank and her expression was dull, as if she was saying, who am I, where am I, and what am I going to do? Ha 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 ha. I didn't know either. If it wasn't for the adults telling me, I would have definitely beaten that man's head off. Emperor Zilan said with a beaming face. This time, their Zilan Holy Land is really going to ascend. After Kanglan completely inherited the position of Heavenly Dao, Nalan Yan also completely returned to her position. Their Zilan Holy Land can be said to be one of the most noble forces in the upper world. Lanur, don't be nervous. This is your position. It was occupied by the spirit race for several epochs before. Now you should return to your position. What's more, the spirit race has been sentenced to death now. Emperor Zilan said to Kanglan. Ancestor, I still don't believe it. How can I be the heavenly Dao of the eternal upper realm? How can my master be the guardian of heavenly Dao? Kanglan asked dully. You may not believe me, but you must believe the adults. You too, I guess you are the Emperor Zilan and the immortal Emperor Xuanhuan, right? Just as the Emperor Zilan was patiently persuading Kanglan, Xuanhuan appeared in front of the 2 and said slowly. You are the palace master of the immortal sword palace. My lord, you have told us everything in advance. This person should be the orphan of the heavenly Dao as the adults said. Xuanhuan glanced at Kanglan and said with a smile. Yes, her name is Kanglan. We in the Holy Land of Zilan did not expect that there would be such a big Buddha in a small temple. Ancestor, I am not a big Buddha. Okay, you are not, you are the heavenly Dao. The Emperor Zilan said dotingly. Now in his heart, Kanglan is the same as her granddaughter, but when Kanglan completely inherits the heavenly Dao, he will not be worthy. Palace Master, there is no time to lose, let's set off. The immortal Emperor Xuanhuan said impatiently. Don't worry, you two. This is a good opportunity to see how many minions the spiritual tribe still has. Please follow us to the heavenly palace. Xuanhuan said with a smile. Okay, no problem. Damn, here they come again, this is the power of the Emperor clan again. I don't know, now apart from the Qin clan and the Wanjian sect, there are only a few Emperor clan members participating in it. I'm a little puzzled, since it was said by the Emperor Jun clan themselves, and there are top forces like the Xianjian Tiangong, why don't they participate? Maybe they can get a share of the pie. What are they waiting and watching? In fact, they are not afraid of the Spirit clan, but the minions of the Spirit clan. An old man who has lived for an unknown period of time said slowly with a ray of light flashing in his eyes. The minions of the Spirit race. That's right. Since the Spirit race took control of the eternal upper realm, they have secretly cultivated or coerced and lured many imperial races to become their minions, helping them clean up or monitor some things. These imperial races are just observing the movements of these minions. If these minions do not take any action, or even come forward to stop them, it means that the spirit race is dismissive of this. If these minions also rebel, it can only mean one thing. What problem? The spirit race cannot be contacted, and a disaster has occurred in the spirit race, and this disaster is enough to destroy the race. So that's why, no wonder no imperial race has taken the initiative to join except for the subordinate forces of the 5 major imperial races.